I think we're ready to bring Corinne on, aren't we?
I would
Get
love
ready,
to hear
people.
Corinne's beautiful voice.
Say you want a revolution. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short.
It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll.
I remember doing the time warp, drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the voice would be calling. Let's do the time warp again.
In another dimension, with voyeuristic intention, well secluded, I see all.
With a bit of a mind flip.
You're into the time slip.
And nothing can ever be the same.
You're spaced out on sensation.
Here comes Speed Racer. Trixie.
Oh, Speed. Speed. You were wonderful.
Here comes Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go!
The one, the only, Corinne Wilson, the Occult Priestess. What's happening?
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm stoked to be here among the beautiful people.
And we
Well,
are
thank
just
you.
as stoked as well. And it's been quite a while since we had you on the show. And yeah, it's great to see you. And man, our chat room is popping off. You must be really popular, ma'am.
Girl, you sent me some information. I need to know this information. We all need to know this information. Are we at that point, Gigi? Are we ready for this?
I think we're ready. I think we can handle the truth.
Corinne?
I love that. That's what podcasting is for in general, wouldn't you say?
Most definitely.
The revolution will not be televised, but it will be podcasted.
Most definitely.
There you go. There you go.
So tonight, what I'm bringing you is something extremely unique to podcasting in general. And I'm a little nervous, so to be honest about that.
I believe in you.
Thank you. And I have really supportive people also in the chat, so thank you for being there for me, you guys. So, back on task. Tonight, I'm actually not just acting as a teacher, I'm acting as a priestess. And priestesses have magical abilities, if you will. Basically, we're vessels for higher light. That's what priestesses used to do in ancient times, was to bring the light from heaven to earth. Does that make sense? Are we all on the same page?
I like that.
Absolutely. Yes.
And the word guru, G-U-R-U, means to bring from darkness to light.
Really? I actually
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so we're all in this group together, and I believe that we're past life friends, and I believe we're here on a mission again to bring back the truth. How do you guys feel about that?
Absolutely. I feel like you perhaps might have been my sister or my mother in a previous
Oh,
life.
that's so sweet.
I'm serious, especially after spending some time out with you out there in LA. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I was
So-
everyone's mom. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry again.
Well, you have the duck magic now.
I
to-
do. I'm actually drawing a duck right now as I speak to you, and I'm channeling some images. But your message,
Exactly.
She really is.
girl, I need to hear this.
Okay, so here we go. Like I said, I'm working off of notes this evening because I'm doing like a charge of the goddess. This is a charge. This is an invocational teaching, which is why the priestess part, where it's not a normal presentation that I would do on a podcast. This is an actual event that is taking place this evening. So we are going into a time that is not a time, in a space that is not a space. We're going up into our consciousness, past all the darkness of the subconscious realms and the underworld and even the physical world. We are reaching through our heart and going up through the crown, and some part of our soul is going to hear the song that we all sing tonight, and it's going to awaken parts of us that have been sleeping for millennium. The ancient Egyptians worked with reincarnation, and as you have seen, we used canopic jars and we used mummies, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are spiritual, in our modern times, we would call them technologies, but they are of nature and of the heaven realms. Therefore, they have nothing to do with Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley, because what is pure in this realm here on Earth is inverted. And I think most of us know that lesson. That we're living in Alice's upside down hell realm, basically.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
especially this week.
So it's all to test our metal or to grow our soul. It's not to get the cars and the chicks and the rock star stuff. You know what I mean? Or even Trump stuff. I mean, he's the perfect materialist. If you look at him, he's an archetype. He's become an avatar of America.
He is, you know. I have actually heard, I believe it's like Carl Jung who said something about the nation's leader usually reflects a lot of what we need to work on in society.
Precisely. Thank you, Cortana.
The
that
shadow,
was
yeah.
genius. Am I still on?
You are very much still on,
Yeah.
girl. Keep
Okay.
going. Go.
Okay, so back to Trump. I want to get back there because that would actually take us to the Arthurian times of Avalon, where we learned about the Grail mysteries. Okay, so what we learned with the Grail mysteries is the land and the king are one. So that trumps Carl Jung and takes it right back to Merlin, basically, which those are our people. Throughout history, all of these great teachers, those are our people. We are those people.
And
I know
even
that's trippy.
And even the name,
Trippy.
you know, and like, I mean, not to go off because there's so many mixed opinions about, you know, our current political, you know, our current president, but the name Trump, you know, you think of like the Trump cards in the tarot deck, you know?
Yes, and the trumpet,
Yes.
which is Gabriel, who calls the shots. Gabriel says, "Okay, game on. Time for the apocalypse."
Let's
That's Gabriel.
rattle some cages.
Yeah, and apocalypse means unveiling, and that's what we're about to do, kids. We're about to do the dance of the seven veils.
Ooh.
Okay, enough delay. Here we go. I hope everyone's set up. You know, we were in Avalon, and now we're going to ancient Egypt, before the time of pharaohs. Okay. This is a presentation on the cosmic core. Core Kosmu is the ancient title of this text. Kore space Kosmu, Core Kosmu. I am a priestess of Isis, a keeper of the flame, the original mystery school teacher from Sirius B. And you can find on my YouTube, Occult Priestess, the Hermetic core teachings. So if you have any questions, please watch some videos. It has taken me years to come into alignment with my true self, or my soul self, or my higher self. I went insane. I lost my mind. My ego died. And then I was let into heaven. This happened through a series of Kundalini awakenings that were brought on spiritually by my heaven helpers and my guru, Sri Mamo Devi of the Karma Kagyu lineage. Tonight, I am charged to share with you an ancient seed teaching from Egypt, as well as the contemporary teaching that complements it that I channeled in 2009.
Okay, well, real quick, before we get into this teaching, I hate to cut you off. I wish we could just skip this commercial.
Well, we won't say cut her off. We're leaving everybody on the edge of their seat. Feeling like I felt like I was hitting the theta state as far as brainwaves go before we had to cut to the break. How about you?
Yes, and that's exactly
Like,
why I felt bad for having to go to the commercial break. But that's part of our deal. We'd get in a lot of trouble if we didn't run that commercial. So anyway, without any further ado whatsoever, please let's pick up right exactly where we left off.
Alrighty, it is good, like you said, Cortana, the theta state. It's good for y'all to close your eyes and relax and take a few deep breaths if you can, to really get into this groove. But this groove will be here. This is the permanent groove as long as this recording is available.
Beautiful.
So you can send the groove to your friends.
Yes, please do, you guys. We would definitely appreciate it here at Shift Happens and at Occult Priestess Awesomeness Incorporated.com.
It's just .com, baby.
I know.
Thank you. Okay, let's get ready to rumble. All the ancient teachings worked in high vibrational ancient times. Modern teachings are being called forth to help humanity make the transition from darkness to light. What I share this evening can change your life in the now. Seeds we have sown throughout our lifetimes, our soul missions, through incarnations, have taken root and grown into big bodhisattva trees. However, until sometime in the mystical year of 2019, the massive veil cannot be lifted. Yet, for my past life soul friends, my family, those who came here to Earth through the portals of Sirius, this information is a key code DNA Awakener. I entitle it a Darshan Shaktipat.
Ooh.
D-A-R-S-H-A-N is one word that you can Google, and Shakti, S-H-A-K-T-I, space Pat, P-A-T. I am a conduit of Kundalini light energy. When all is right, I am a vessel that pours forth much light, just like the pictures of the Aquarius. I refresh you with pure waters of gnosis to trigger you into remembering, or at least hacking away at the hypnosis of culture, the spell cast upon us. And now I would like to quote my predecessor, Yogananda. He says, "Don't depend on death to liberate you from your imperfections. You are exactly the same after death as you were before you died. Nothing changes. You only give up the body. If you are a thief or a liar or a cheater before death, you don't become an angel merely by dying. If such were possible, then let us go and jump into the ocean now and become angels at once. Whatever you have made of yourself thus far, so will you be hereafter. And when you reincarnate, you will bring that same nature with you. To change, you have to make the effort. This world is the place to do it. And with that, Yogananda, drop the mic.
I'm like, my eyes are welling up right now. You don't know how relevant this is to me right now. I love you, Corin.
Do you feel the love, people? Do you feel the love? We are not asking for money. Do not call in now. This is just for you. Isn't that beautiful?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to go on. The core of the cosmic message is to be found in the ancient text entitled Core Kosmu. You can find the free PDF online. I tweeted it and posted it. That's KORE space KOSMU. And that's where basically I got the name for my chat show, The Cosmic Core. I never reinvent old teachings and give them a new name. This is not how masters work. The core Kosmu is perfection for the time it was written, a key to awaken us in the now. So understand the core Kosmu is a living text, and its light can remind you of your soul. Egyptians resurrect through consciousness. Thank goodness for those canopic jars. However, since I cannot claim that I wrote the core Kosmu, I must focus on highlighting my own teachings, which are for the now, and ask you to explore the core Kosmu yourself. And then this is the meat of my teachings. Rank and file, soul hierarchy. Now, you guys, we have all been told from birth that we were created equal. Is that true?
Yes. It's almost beaten into us.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm about to challenge that. And that is a root truth in our culture. So this might freak some people out.
I love freaking people out.
Okay. All right, here we go. This is the quote from the core Kosmu. You'll find it very much in the first chapter. It is the goddess Isis speaking to her son, Horus the Younger. Quote, "It is necessary then that all nature should be adorned and completed by that which is above her. For this order could not proceed from below to above." Space Wars.
Mm-hmm.
The supremacy of the greater mysteries over the lesser is imperative. Celestial order reigns over the terrestrial order as being absolutely determined and inaccessible to the idea of death. Now, my wondrous child Horus, all this could not happen among the mortals, muggles, for as yet they did not exist, but it took place in the universal soul in sympathy with the mysteries of heaven. This was Hermes, the cosmic thought. End quote. We are not all created equal. Welcome to samsara, the world of suffering, known to the Buddhists, the red pill of the past life prophetess, Sirius, Isis, introducing the core Kosmu, the virgin of the world. From Sirius B, a heaven realm. And then I will bring you my teachings, and I will rest my case, and we can get back to having a regular show.
I know, right? Like, we're like moving. I feel like we're moving a lot of emotion right now. At least I am.
Excellent.
Anyway.
Keep it going, Cortana.
I love it.
There we go. I channeled this in 2009. Channeling is, to me, just going and having tea with a higher part of myself or a higher master. And this was spoken to me. And so let it also be spoken to you. I am your inner light. I am your muse tonight. Cast aside the dust and uncover your old music box, the one you left playing in the corner oh so long ago. Wind now, as it is your fashion, the clock striking midnight, the soul of compassion. Bend your wisdom to the wind, arch yourself from within, beyond barriers into the light. Dance now to the tune of 1,000 songs, multi-universal esoteric tones, vibrating your essence, reverberating your bones. Come, 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 clear across to the other shore with me. Touch and feel the beauty like a golden cloud of honey. Come with me to the other side of reality. Let us see what is behind creativity. I can show you the path, but you must lead the way. For 1,000 locks on the 100th box, cast your doubts away. Don't go missing in action, letting your senses stray. Be here now and stay, stay. On a sea of empty bliss, we forget loneliness and become oneliness. Wholeness is a state such as this. Bring me your rhymer, your key keeper, your timer. Break now the sacred hourglass that falls with red sands, and put the faith and wisdom back into her hands. Wielding now the shield of one divine lady, share what we have become. Open your eyes and ears to fate as the winged messenger duly awaits. Bring now thine wisdom back home. Bring it on home to the nest of empty forgiveness, the unity with the allness, so that you too may bless the bliss, the oneness, inside manifest as outside coalesce. Understand the union, that all are one, universal oneness, a certain state of consciousness. Bring it all together, making it all make sense. You are being asked to fulfill the mission of writing and of skill, to bring through the knowledge you have attained through previous incarnations, and those lessons from other realms of light into this plane, onto this place, bringing a joy and abundance of greater fruits and greater efforts. Work for you is designed, or by design. Your will makes magic grow, the golden dust of Isis. Bringing wisdom to the people counterbalances your work in a fulfilling and quite tolerable way. You will find in your giving and gifting you will receive many-fold, bringing to a culmination many lifetimes sold to the past. You see how it is your karma to reap from your treasures. The vast knowledge of your well-observed incarnations are reflecting back to you, shining the light of what you have forgotten, or what time has stolen. Give your secrets back to yourself and unleash them upon the people with delight and discovery. You are your own archaeological dig, dear princess. Loved one in flesh, we must regress. Cast back thine eye to the brilliant sun of glow and blue hue. Cast back to the green and the morning glory brew. Incense streaming, light rays beaming, karmic mission fulfilled. In the morning, when you rise, take this in stride, breathing in slow and deep, bringing peace home to the future shores of tomorrow, bringing in the sheep with an ocean of devotion, sacred vows we keep. Bring ye here with a full plate to breathe the breath of the truth of the knowledge within. Come with sword, chalice, and rod. Come to symmetry and balance. Think of the one, the undivided, the whole. Draw your light from this. We are all one, and that brings home the sight. the sound, and the vision. Bring your light carried within, for no mask can hide your pallor. Climb to the top, begin, the top of the ivory tower. See the triangle descend upon thee. Break loose your golden chains, for the platinum reins of the chariot's horses. Create.
Oh my god.
There's a little bit more, but are you guys full?
No.
No. Keep going.
All right,
Keep
this is
going.
the last bit. We're going to take all the veils off then.
Yes.
Here we go. Platinum blue steel, cobalt brilliance, eye of sight within the darkness, the sun eclipsed by the moon, ancient spiral hypnotic calling you back through the void into oneness, into the light of all oneness. Bring as your moon is shadowed with the evening of starlight round a halo of a surface shore. Bring your light, bring it high, for the moon riseth in your eyes. Understand the knowing of all is one with the strength of the deep expanses. The underworld landscapes on the moon, over your head, through the stargate, under the bridge and over the mountain, into the valley below the surface, into the oval pupils, tunneling underground. Echo, echo. Heard the soft sound of the water as it escapes its confines, enjoys your mind, enjoins your mind in common acknowledgement. Drop of moisture calls you to the place of the sacred stones, crystalline shards of charts and graphs, treasures to unfold. The Mayan bird riseth out of the crystal like a phoenix spreading its wings of radiating light. Prophecies, the secrets of Azazel. Core Channeling 2009.
Oh my goddesses.
Absolutely beautiful.
All the goddesses. Like, this wasn't...
Beautiful.
This wasn't like poetry. This was like a guided meditation. Like, did you guys feel that? I hope you guys felt that, because I felt it. And I actually teared up a few times. And, you know, when she talks about, you know, spreading the wings, I'm literally drawing something that is spreading the wing. I'm drawing a bird right now that's spreading her wings. So, synchronicity.
Wow.
Fly free, birdies. All the bird tribes being called, and we're not frickin' blue avians.
No, I'm a duck.
Cheap.
But the bird
Very
tribe,
well
I will
might be.
tell you, started with Thoth, okay?
Yes. Yeah, and within the Egyptian traditions, it was that there is the duck that actually laid the golden egg of creation to start up the universe. I know that's one of the legends within the ancient Egyptian traditions.
It's for real bird tribe. Like, that's the trippy part, that it's actually real. And we all of us, however we're connected through love, know these things, but we don't talk about them in public. But 2019 really is the year that everybody's going to start chatting about it, and it'll be more, it'll be better.
You know,
I do want to say one more thing.
Okay.
One more
yes,
point
go
about
ahead.
2019. I've been told there's going to be a time coming, and I believe it is 2019, where the revelation, the revealing really happens to so much so to a point that if you don't believe in good and evil, basically, if you don't believe in the paradigm of black and white of this dichotomy world, it will be proven to you. And I believe it will be proven that there is a spiritual hierarchy or a God that loves us. There's some kind of proof coming. And get in before the proof if you can, because once there's proof, it's kind of, there's no faith left. It's like you knew it before or you didn't.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, I already see, like, the flickerings of that 2019 awakening, because more and more people are talking about it. I mean, even when we were at Contact in the Desert, you know, there were several times where, like, I was just taking a cab to and from the facility, the grounds, and all these cab drivers we're having awakenings because of transporting all of us
Yes.
people getting woke too. And I had
You know
some
what? I
interesting
was never allowed to
conversations.
have my driver's license or my own car. I think maybe 6 months out of my life I had that situation. That's it. I had to go with the people who would drive me around because I had light to share. So in many ways, it holds us back because we're doing service to others, like, being poor or whatever, that might look like not success in this world. We're very successful. We're just humble.
Yeah, success has nothing to do with money. Success is finding your place in your mission and doing it. To say the least.
To say the least. I mean, yeah, like the that also just hits a note with me too, because I'm
Well, what insights did you get, Cortana, from what you heard?
I drew it, but you can't see it right now. You were touching on a lot of things that well, I'm going to be really candid with all of you right now, is that I've been going through a very, very hard time mentally. And there were points where I wanted to check out. And so, especially this week. And I talked to a lot of friends and a lot of highly spiritually gifted people who reached out to me to talk me off of that ledge. And what Corinne was giving to us within this, last half hour through this throughout this show, the synchronicity, it just confirmed a lot of things for me. And I'm already getting teary-eyed again.
Yeah, this might be the most, that was the most powerful
Moving.
moment we've ever had on this show. For
wow,
sure.
Thank you
This
for the honor.
This is why we love you, girl.
Yes. Seriously.
You are bringing a lot of light right now. And also to be very candid, today we did an episode actually with Gigi's aunt. And today she called us up and she gave us this just killer motivational speech. And then what you did right now, reiterated those things for us.
That's how it works, baby.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week because that not only that call with my aunt, Jilly, as you know, we did that show last November, but also, I've had multiple people go out of their way to reach out to me to, do the same thing that my aunt did and that you've done for, Brad called me, and we had a very powerful talk, and a friend of ours, Rita, contributed to a lot of that too, and it's just, it's beyond coincidence. It's just, this has been a week full of synchronicities, because honestly, I haven't been super hot lately either,
Yeah, and Gigi, I think I probably said this to you, but I think everybody needs to know that this show has a bit of an integrating both the ascension process into the real world, if that makes any sense.
It's a bridge.
We've been going on that bent lately, and if there's anybody out there who feels also touched by this message too, that's who we're working for right now.
Absolutely, and and I'm sure we're not the only two that needed to hear. Everybody needs to hear what just went down here, and
well, one of the ladies that showed me the way that other people could benefit a lot from what I had to say was this lady on YouTube from the UK. Her name is Magenta Pixie, and she gives updates on what's going on energetically with the human family, with the collective, from a higher perspective. So she really helped me see that these things are happening to all of us at once. All the light workers are having similar situations. And then that's where you get your group friends from, which you just mentioned. We have our support structures, people who understand we're not crazy and we're kind of brilliant, and they're brilliant too.
Yes, and you know what? Our aunt, like she was pointing out, we're about to hit a very unbalanced time next month. All of the planets are going to be aligning all on one side of the zodiac, which hasn't happened in God knows how many years.
Yeah.
And so
we do have an astrologer who can call in tonight. So.
Yes.
Well, I hope she does. But with that, we do have to take a break right this very now. So we will pick this up. Zodiac sign, particularly. I am trying to contact my aunt right now because I know
that
she knows.
That is a silly question to ask her. Sorry. I mean, that's not. It's all on the left side, so it's what the left side.
I was thinking
represents.
upper left too.
Do you know? Well, from what?
Yes.
It's some kind of hemispheric astrology, but dude, I'm not an astrologer.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get that phone.
from what I gather, from what I've looked up during the break, it might be the sign of Cancer.
Oh dear. We're going to be swimming in emotions.
That doesn't make any sense. She's just saying all the planets are on the left side of the wheel.
Yeah, the wheel.
Oh, well then.
Yeah.
Well then I'm wrong.
Oh.
Because it has nothing to do with one particular sign.
You know what? When we
everybody.
Yvonne is suggesting, or she's asking Leo.
Oh no! Everybody's trying to guess your zodiac sign, Gigi.
Oh.
No.
Well, there's some people who want to guess your zodiac sign.
No. They're asking which zodiac sign are all of the planets going to be aligning to next month.
Oh, so which quadrant? Okay, you know what, girl? Core, let's try to get eventually we're going to get your astrology friend to explain this, because it is, we have been told that this event is very, it only happens once, every 80 or so years. By the way, Gigi is on the cusp of Libra and Virgo. For those who were curious.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who you ask.
It's Sirius.
He comes off as a Libra, for real.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely mostly Libra, but there have been some...
There are some Virgo times that I notice.
Yeah, and, so back in college, when I was taking my astronomy class, he spent a whole day, he gave us these charts, and the whole lecture was about how... basically, his point was that when we look at our astrology charts today, and you go into Quiznos and they have...
Oh, no, not this
they
thing.
Have
no.
This is something to think
when
about.
Astronomers...
It's a broken record.
It's a broken record. Let's break it.
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We have heard this conversation so many times.
Well, the point is, if you go off I'm a Libra, but if you take into account how the stars have shifted since then I'm a Virgo.
Astronomers...
Yeah, but that is Western astrology.
Yes,
dude. Get
exactly.
into Vedic. Yeah. Cortana knows. Just listen to her.
I know, right? I keep saying. But yeah, he's on the... If anybody was curious, he is on the cusp of Libra and Virgo. So when it comes to cuspers, they display traits of either one. They could go either way. Now...
And when it comes to science versus the occult, science always loses.
Yeah, because the occult evolved first, right?
We taught the scientists.
Yeah.
And they took it and ran away and got crazy.
Well,
crazy, ego crazy.
Yes.
Just to play devil's advocate, we're not the... Well, he would say, we're not the alignments that we base all of our astrology on, based on where the stars were a couple of thousand years ago, and have the stars not shifted in relation to us since then.
But modern astrology...
He had to get it out, Cortana.
I know, he did. I
know. What's the answer,
this
though?
This is why we
have they or
Gigi.
have they not?
Well, okay, so... As much as I appreciate your astronomy teacher because of the things that you were saying last night when we were stargazing last night... But
yes or no?
The astrology that we go by, it actually synchronizes more towards the planets versus the constellations. The constellations still play a part, and that's, I think, what your teacher was referring to, is that, oh yes, the constellations have shifted, but really the astrology that we use right now is more so based on the alignment of our own solar system, our own planets. Am I right, Cor? Am I getting this right? Because you're kind of more advanced about this than I am.
No, I'm not a professional. I will never be a professional astrologer, so I can't speak about I only speak about what I do know.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
according to what you know.
I'll take Cortana's word for it.
Okay.
No, do your own research.
Yes,
Well, I
everybody.
did.
Answer your own question, mister.
Well, I did.
Look at
But I
us
just
all
got shut down.
chastising. Look at us all chastising.
Well, he's saying that he agrees with science, and we need to respect that.
We do.
No, I'm not.
I think he's more half and half.
I'm not really agreeing with science. I'm agreeing with what seemed to be a very logical point.
What I enjoy about
Well,
Gigi,
even if you agree with logic, you're going to be lost in 2019.
I know, right? Because it's not going to make sense. But what I enjoy about Gigi is that he does integrate the logical and illogical at the
That's
same
the Virgo
time.
in the Libra, totally.
Right,
It's
dude?
it's a beautiful
like,
mix.
He's got like the Libra, which is like illogical. Let me just say, no offense to air signs, but you guys are like floating around everywhere. But then you got the Virgo part where you're just like sitting there grounded, set in your ways.
Well, and that was kind of my ultimate point, was that what I was trying to say, it would, if that were true, that would explain perfectly why I have a little bit of Virgo and Libra. That was my whole point.
Well, we already know that. We love you because of it.
But anyway, one thing I did want to ask you, based off of some of what you said earlier, is I want to ask about suffering. Now, suffering, I mean, let's be real here. Suffering, there is a time and a place and a need for suffering. Suffering is sometimes that's just what you need to go through to progress spiritually, and to progress spiritually, and sometimes and mentally, and that's it plays a very obvious role in our spiritual development and in understanding our place in reality and understanding why we're here. I totally get that. Like,
yes.
It makes sense. I know why it's there. In this reality,
I totally know what he's
that does make sense. But what I want to know is, if I were God, I would not make... Why... if you can create this reality any way you want, why would you want to make suffering a part of it? Like, who, like, I don't want anybody to suffer. I want everybody around me to be happy and merry and just love each other. And when you're suffering, sometimes it's hard to do that because you're confused, you don't know who to blame, although probably you only have yourself to blame, really. But still, like, why was that integrated into this system of reality?
You make such a valid point, Gigi. Like, sometimes, something's got to give because there's just so much suffering. You're like, all right, I know suffering's supposed to make us grow, but man, this is a little too much. So, back to Gigi's question.
Well, that was it.
Yes, I've hit like what I would call a breaking point, but I didn't break, believe it or not. But I was in a dark night of the soul.
Oh, man.
And I was asking God, like, how could it be this hard? How could it have gotten, like, I thought you and I had a deal that you wouldn't break me. And that I could survive anything. I don't think I can survive this. So when in the Christian mythology, everything's mythology, right? Mm-hmm. Which to me is all real. So in the Christian teachings, we learned that Jesus had his dark night where he even doubted his Father. And I believe it's just something we go through, that darkness. But, okay, so you're asking about why is this world in a dichotomy? Why is it black versus white? That's actually what you're asking. And I'll take you back to your Bible again, back to the apple. The apple that you chose. You were not forced. The gun was not put to your head. You as an evolving soul said, oh, look at that earth. Look how beautiful she is. Oh, my goodness, I want to be a part of that. And you came as a volunteer to learn the knowledge of good and evil. Now, knowledge is not wisdom, my friends.
Good point.
Only through knowledge can we cultivate the pearl that is wisdom. And that comes through effort and striving, something the American people have not been taught about, because honestly, we're slaves, and we're slaves to others, not to ourselves and not to our God or gods. None of that, and really, when there are hierarchies above you, gods that love you more than you can even imagine, and you have a sense of that in your heart, then you're here for a reason and a purpose. And you're waking up every day, sometimes in Groundhog's Day, and it's over and over again. And that's where I got the teaching from Hermes of the fiction friction in our lives. So this fiction, which is your drama, your subconscious crap, honestly, from your childhood and from whatever, and sometimes past lives too. I do that work with people.
Lord,
when you're just knocking on a door and you can't get in, you call the priestess, and she will knock down that door for you with love, and I will be there and hold your hand. That's what I do. So what I'm telling you is the fiction friction has to happen to, it's called testing your mettle, and it's also building Solomon's temple, which is metaphor for the light body. So if you can say every body that you inhabit, that you incarnate in, that body represents a stone that you get to place into Solomon's temple, your light body, your Merkaba. And at the end of the building of this temple, it becomes a rainbow light body that is basically your soul car, and you can travel anywhere in the universe and still be incarnated at the same time, which is where I get my poetry from and the beauty from, not from this realm. It doesn't exist here right now. And we're in the darkness because you have to fall to the flesh. Some of us, like light workers, we always had our third eyes awake and our hearts awake. So we didn't fall completely to the flesh, but we must have great, great, great compassion for those who did, because they are literally blind and hypnotized. Just like in the Matrix,
just
we're
like
trying
in
to unplug
North Korea.
some really important people.
Just
What?
like in North Korea, to reference back to our conversation at the beginning of the show. They're forced to be blind.
Well, if we go to the Gnostic Sophia story, then
Yes.
we're taught about archons, which now the Mars people call Anunnaki, but it's an older story.
Don't feed
They're
the archons.
completely taking the narrative and running with it, and it's incorrect. So the correct narrative is the Gnostic Sophia narrative, where there are overlords, that's the darkness in this world, and the fourth dimension. And many of us were born into bloodlines, star seeds, light workers. You have not been incarnating with that family for hundreds of lifetimes. They're all new families, and that's why we always feel
That
like the
makes
black
sense.
sheep, the weirdo, the one who no one understands. And that's what keeps us quiet and in our own mental prison that Bob Marley busted me out of.
I mean, I'm a black sheep in a family of black sheeps, but I do remember a lot of aspects of my most very recent past life. And, when they say, oh, yeah, you know how your past life is, you know how you died when in a past life by the birthmarks and the blah, blah, etc., etc. But me, I died via suicide by cyanide in my past life.
And I
But
was shot
I was
in
in-
France during the
Which
Revolution.
you were-
And I have a birthmark on my butt. I was not shot in my butt.
But my throat chakra is just out of whack. My throat chakra has always been out of whack. And the thing is that I guess I don't know what point I was trying to make, but we got into past lives, girl. Like my
Well-
most recent one, man, and your most recent one, and all of our most recent ones.
Well, and you bring up a good question that I have that I asked Natalie McGovern, who we've had on the show.
Love that
Amazing woman. She's out here too.
Name
now-
a book or something from her.
Well,
girl. She's a hypnotherapist. Actually,
Excellent.
she does past life regression stuff. She's another amazing, awesome, highly in tune friend of ours as well.
You two would really get along.
Yeah,
But,
we would soul family it up
yeah,
if we were all at one big table.
we have to
Oh,
introduce
we're
you
gonna
to her.
do that.
But
Don't
anyway,
worry.
so I asked her this question because, obviously in this community, our past lives comes up in conversation quite a bit.
Actually,
now-
recently I put up a picture in a video, I put up a picture of David Wilcock. And instead of putting his name there, I put Edgar Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one. But so here's my question though for you. I do have past life memories, but the most recent one was in biblical time, like before year 0, like in that era. I have a lot of past life memories from that time and even before. But absolutely nothing from that point until this life. So what happened? Where was I for the last 2,000 years?
I see you with the little crown on your head, and it means many or smaller. And then I hear King of Judah, and then I see the lion with Lion of Judah. Again, back to Bob Marley. Bob Marley must be hanging out tonight. There's so much weed. Okay. So what I'm telling you that you need to know is that yes, your other lives can come forth and manifest for you, but the important ones are the ones who usually come through first. So those are the ones you focus on, and that means for your soul that you are doing a similar play in this lifetime that you did back then. So if you can figure out what you did back then, it'll tell you what you are doing now and who with.
Oh,
yeah,
it is.
but I'm still wondering why, how come it's blank for the last 2,000 years? Like, what was I somewhere else, or was I nowhere?
Maybe you were on a different planet.
You're not meant to know yet, or you would know.
Sometimes I think Gigi was. Well, I don't know. I say
I'm
Andromeda.
saying we block things from ourselves on purpose. They're asking you to focus on one particular situation and not to get lost in all the other situations you used to be in.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're trying to teach you.
That could be. And there's for anybody that doesn't buy into past lives, man, there are some great examples and in fact, documentaries made on, I can't remember exactly, but, some kid out from the Middle East, when he was 4 years old, he just kept talking about how, he died in a plane crash, fighting for their military. And that's where this certain scar came from. And sure enough, it was like his grandpa or his dad's uncle or something like that, he was describing what happened to his previous relative at 4 years old.
Oh, I remember what point I was trying to get to. The fact that...
Let me get on that real quick and say that the past life stuff, we do block a lot of it out, okay? So you need to know that. But also, what proved it to me, that the Roman Catholic Church was only about 100 years ago were the people that said we no longer believe in past lives. Every other culture on the planet before that time believed collectively in past lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. They with Christianity becoming the state religion, I guess they did that. Don't feed the archons, feed ducks instead. And with it becoming that, editing out reincarnation, so it feeds that fear paradigm of you only have one chance to be perfect, right?
And Paris brought up genetic memories, which was my mother's theory, genius in her own right. She said, we're just remembering our ancestors' lives. And I was like, you know what, Mom, that's really cool. And I believed that for a little while until my soul started talking to me and said, oh my God, you think you're actually related to these people? No, you're a starseed child. Come back home. So it was almost like I was in danger thinking these people were my family.
Yeah.
Well, there is, and to go on to Gigi's point of, there's the reincarnation within families. Between my most recent past life and my current life right now, there is such a genetic difference, and this was no reincarnation through a family line, because you know that's how
one of
they
the clues.
emphasize
That's
that.
what tells us. That's what informs us that we're a light worker. I like to bring up Laura Eisenhower because she's obviously
I talked to her
been born
yesterday.
into a family.
She's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Laura, for doing that session.
She's not
with
from them, man.
Cortana yesterday.
You know what I mean? So you're born in, like, I'm related to Senator John Glenn, the astronaut. So we're born into these families to clean them up. And our real families have always been our soul friends, our priests and priestesses, those who we've trained. And they've come in many forms through our lives. But in the ancient lives, that's when we all had fun. That's when it was awesome.
You're related to John Glenn?
Yeah. My grandmother's brother.
How could I possibly just now be told this?
We are
Because no one listens to me.
there are so many things being revealed tonight.
Man.
And awakened tonight. Take that as a part of it.
And speaking of things being revealed, we do have to reveal another set of commercials. One of the main things she does is she's a spiritual counselor of sorts. I don't know if that's the best description. We'll hear it from her in a second. But she does amazing work. I've been there during and witnessed one of her sessions with her clients, and absolutely fantastic.
What song was that, Gigi?
That's one of my favorite songs in the world. It's called God is in the Radio by Queens of the Stone Age off of the Songs for the Deaf record.
It's very similar, I found, for no reason whatever, that it is God is in the TV by Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Yeah, except that came out after this song.
Excellent. Hey, man, Manson just got dissed.
Yeah, and
I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, Manson is
It's the truth.
like
I'm
goth
just saying.
kindergarten.
God is in the Radio came up first. Anyway, all right, caller, who is this?
Oh, hey, this is Susan.
Hi, Susan. That's my astrologer.
Oh,
Oh, well, here, perfect.
Hi.
Perfect. Thank you for calling in.
She's a hot, sexy blonde. You should go look at her picture.
Oh, well, we should get married.
What's your Instagram, girl?
Oh, my God. Corinne! Stop it.
you're putting her on the
Romantic
spot
name.
here. You're putting her on the spot here. All right, so we have heard about you, girl, and we need some clarification on a few certain things that are going on astrologically right now.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you said that she said the planets are going to be in a particular hemisphere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're all going
The
to be...
left side of the chart in particular.
Right.
And then there's going to be a lot of retrogrades.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're having a lot of retrogrades right now, in fact. So that makes it really difficult to move forward with things because our focus is more internal rather than external. But I think what your aunt is talking about in the fall, I think in November.
Well, she specifically said it starts in the middle of July.
Oh, okay. Huh. I'd have to really take a look at the chart, and I don't have my app open right now.
I know, it's like we're putting you on the spot. I'm sorry, girl. Like,
No, it's okay. No, I totally... You can message me, and I will, we'll connect, and I'll talk to you about it. Because I'm not really sure what she's referring to, because, anyway.
So does that mean the left side of the chart is the internal work?
I wish...
She would know.
I know she's listening right now. Aunt Julie, if you're listening, if you can call in, we would, we could probably clear some things up here.
Well,
I know
right
she's
now-
not a fan of calling in, but
well, right now, okay, because you got your astrologer girl on this week. I mean, goddess damn, like, do you know, like, what was up with the forecast? Because this has been an incredibly rough week for a lot of us, especially a lot of us who are, intuitive experiencers, etc. Empaths, yes.
Well, I can tell you that Mars just went retrograde, so that makes it really, really, it's not comfortable at all for anybody. And, Mars likes to move forward. Mars is the planet of Aries and movement forward. And so when it goes retrograde...
Well, now, hold on real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but, we've brought up retrogrades many times on this show, and we've gotten a lot of questions over the years, or the year and a half we've been doing this. A lot of people don't know what exactly that means when a planet goes in retrograde. So real quick, before you continue, what does that mean?
Okay, well, basically from an astronomical perspective, because the planets don't go in a perfect circle, their orbits are elliptical. So it's like not like an egg shape, but like an oval shape, basically. And so they move at different speeds. So when they start to go slower in the Earth, it seems like they're going backwards, but it just looks that way from our perspective.
So to put it simply,
it's actually
we're lapping
slower.
them, right? Like, to put it simply, we're like lapping them. Like, say, I've already finished lap 1, or I'm on lap 2, but still the other one is still working on lap 1, so they seem to be like they're going slower. Is that correct?
Right.
So,
well, they are going slower, and so, but in relation to the Earth, it feels like they're moving backwards. A lot of astrologers explain it as if you're in a train and you're going faster than the train next to you. It looks like, when you look out the window, it looks like the train is moving backwards.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of technical stuff that I don't really get into, but seems like it's moving backwards. It's not moving backwards, but it just has to do with the speed of the planet.
And so when it means by moving backwards, so do you mean that it's portraying the opposite, like the negative aspects of said planet?
Yeah, it definitely distorts the action of the planet and its effects on us. On a personal level, it forces people to go inward. And for instance, during retrograde Mercury, a lot of times people from your past pop up, or you think about them, and it's just because our focus is directed more inward. So it's a really great time to do spiritual work, and to tap in to what the messages are that you're getting during that time. With Mars retrograde, it's the reason why it's so difficult is because we are kind of facing our inner child, and why our inner child might be angry, for instance.
Very angry on
so
this
Mars, Mars has a lot to do with anger and frustration, aggressiveness. You'll notice during this time that people will be acting really out of sorts and, just popping off with nastiness.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense because...
Run in the other direction.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Now, real quick, we actually do have my aunt on the line right now. So let's go.
I love this woman.
So let's go ahead. Everybody, welcome my Aunt Jilly.
Okay. I am looking at an excellent website. I don't have the YouTube video. I just couldn't find it, and I didn't save it to favorites. But I'm looking at a website, and this is it, planetwatcher.com. You can click on the month, the day, the year, everything, the hour even. But what I'm showing here is that it shows the beginning on approximately October 23. You can visually see the wheel here on this website. And beginning October 23, the planets are indeed on one side of the wheel. And then it keeps going on. So I'm clicking ahead. I'm up into December now. And they're still on one side of the wheel. Now, I understand from what the video said, what I remember of it, is that that's kind of a rare event. So I don't know. I'm not an astrologer, and I've never been into astrology.
Okay,
but
well,
I thought
that
the video
makes sense.
was very interesting.
Because what
Yeah,
she
I'm with
said,
your aunt.
yeah, exactly. Like what you said, girl. Like that the whole like being on one side of the zodiac for a bit. It's the wheel. It's going to be later on this year. Okay, well that's great that we got some clarification on that.
that matches up.
Right. Well, what they said though, that beginning in the middle of July, there are a number of different anomalies that are starting that lead up to this. Was what the gist of what they were saying in this video.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So anyway, but if you look at this and go to planetwatcher.com, it is superb. I'm going to save this page to my favorites in case everyone was missing it. Okay. Hope you can figure this out.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
It looks rare. Okay.
Love you, Aunt Judy.
We love you too.
Okay, love you.
All right. Bye-bye.
This is a mystical
We are definitely
night.
guided by the stars, you guys.
We are.
We forgot that from ancient times, but this is our what we call science. That working with Susan has changed my life over the past 2 years. It's great having a star coach because I have visions and then she can confirm them because that's what's going on with the stars. It's like I'll talk to certain gods and then she can see them in the stars and reinterpret what I was seeing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I totally. I am right there with you because, you get your zodiac, you get your chart out, but it's almost like getting, like, say you've gotten an MRI.
Stereo instructions.
Yeah, you've gotten an MRI, but you could, like, see it and be like, all right, this looks kind of weird, but I need to take it to a specialist.
Yes.
In order to translate this data. And that's where I do love that astrologers come into the picture.
Yeah, I really think they're huge spiritual teachers, and I don't have that muscle, man. So I'm really happy to have a friend that does have that muscle.
Aw, thanks, Corinne. And,
I didn't know you're still there, babe.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Sweet.
Honestly, you've taught me a lot too, and it's just blows my mind every time we talk, and you're like, oh, this one popped in, or that one popped in, or some like obscure goddess Epona that I never heard of. And then I look up and there's an asteroid called Epona and it's being activated by a planet. So what you're getting psychically, I look in the chart and I see it there, and I can see it in people's charts where certain gods and goddesses are very strong, different star systems. So, I could see star seed connections and all that. It just blows my mind because before you came along, I was just sitting there and things would come to me. I'd read about a particular god or goddess or myth, and then I go and I look in the stars and it's happening right there. Like today, right now, Isis is conjunct Sirius.
Oh,
and
man.
what happened?
Whoa, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Because we just...
This girl through the mouth of Sirius, right there. Right.
I told you I was called to talk about this tonight. Like I had no choice.
I know.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Oh my, all of my goddesses. Like, yeah, with synchronicity, people. It everything makes so much sense right now. And I was gonna say something, but I kind of forgot it. So we're just gonna keep going.
Okay. Well, actually, I had a question for Corinne.
Oh my goodness.
Question. Yeah.
As do we all.
Yeah. Well, Corinne and I, we talk about this stuff on a regular basis, like almost daily. But something has come into my awareness recently that I'm wondering, as an astrologer, because I'm looking at the chart of someone, and I've looked at starseed connections before, and then gods and goddesses, but now I'm starting to see the angelic realm.
Wow.
And there's somebody in particular that I've been looking at their chart where I see it just all over their chart, that they are so connected to the archangelic realm. And then at the same time, I'm getting synchronicities that's showing me, I was shown Gabriel, and sure enough, I go and I look in the chart of this person, and they are Gabriel all over their chart. So connected to archangelic realms that I'm wondering, and this is my question, is it possible, like people incarnate as gods and goddesses, is it possible for archangels to incarnate in a physical body and like be living here among us?
How you guys feel about that question?
Well, me personally, I'm like, yes.
Well, I feel like
Because
that's
I've
a
seen it.
sort of milestone of accomplishment of spiritual evolution, to where you already made it through this test, and now you're an archangel.
Graduation. He's talking about that.
Yeah.
It's your final.
So, Susan, tell me when to cut my cards, please.
Okay.
Can I tell you? Okay, maybe not.
No.
Okay, just to let everybody know, we have 5 minutes left.
Lightning round.
Just a heads up.
Cut.
All right, I got it. So for those who follow the tarot, I am doing a 5-card spread from Robin Wood, the Llewellyn author. So first card represents the question, and the question is the 2 of Pentacles, which is a balancing act. Being the key word. In the past, we have the 10 past of the question. We have the 10 of Pentacles, which in a higher spiritual sense is your spiritual gold or inheritance that I spoke of earlier. And on the now is the 7 of Swords, a big trickster. He's a thief, he's a liar, and he's a trickster, that 7 of Swords. Now, this is a double-edged sword, if you will give me a moment to explain. The trickster gives love or slices your head off. It's basically up to you, because the trickster is a universal force, like the Mask or Loki or Eris. Universal force.
Hail Eris.
A caption of justice, a part of justice. But what I've seen for several years now is that light workers, the meaning of this is winning by unfair means, which sounds crappy, but it's not true. What it really means esoterically is that we have the knowledge so that we can do the game right and get through the missions correctly. So it actually means we get more knowledge and wisdom than those who aren't playing the game on these levels. So yes, archangelics are available and in flesh. However, some of them, most maybe at this point, are tricking themselves that they are not themselves. And that is the Page of Wands in the environment, the soul, the spirit, the inner child, because the only way we can get back to the garden is by holding the hand of the inner child. And once you get back to the garden or heaven, that is when you find out more what your soul rank is, if you're an archangel, if you're seraphim, all of these things. The answer is the Ace of Pentacles, the 5th card. The Ace of Pentacles from Hermes' teaching is to make it real, to manifest it, to create form from magic. And that's what the magician does too. He creates form out of nothing. But this is gold. So as a caveat, we could say heaven on earth is the dimensions merging. And as the dimensions merge, the soul will also merge, and you will come to knowledge of yourself and your rank.
That is very relevant, actually. It is very relevant for, everybody who's listening right now. And I hope that everybody who's listening right now has had a form of awakening and has been touched centrally by this conversation.
As I know we all have. And with that, we do have to run right this very now. But real quick, in 30 seconds, let them have it, Corinne. Where can they find you? Where can they get in touch with you and sign up for your counseling service?
My favorite clients are the people who can resonate with this message, because it means I can do the real work with you, and we will fast track it, because that's the times we're in. We're on the fast track. So if you're serious about your soul, then come on in and I'll hold your hand and we'll see what's going on with you. OccultPriestess.com. And if you're a little shy, look at my blog, The Occultist in the Corner, on WordPress, or Occult Priestess. Just Google me. I'm everywhere.
We have
All
got
right.
to. Whoa, my God, Gigi.
And what?
No, just how amazing this was tonight.
Oh, yeah, no, this was epic.